Hello gamers, Zoltan the Gamer Man here with my honest thoughts on Mafia, Definitive Edition. In this here video, I'm gonna tell yous wise guys about the game's looks, sounds, and whether or not it manages to make you feel like a real mafioso, and how it holds up against the original. Well, at least how I remember it in my head. And don't worry, I am not going to continue botching that accent for the entire video. So, let's get right into it. Let me begin by saying that when I saw the first original game all those years ago, I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. I saw it and my little 11-year-old brain immediately went, I remember that my cousin introduced me to it around a year after it was released, and he brought to my attention specifically the smoke effects and how cutting edge they were. I was blown away from the start. And I also thoroughly enjoyed playing through the game. It was one of the best that I have ever played for a long time. Fast forward to the present, and the game still looks gorgeous. The environments the devs created are absolutely stunning looking, the cars look exquisite, the characters, the buildings, the streets, almost everything looks great right from the start. The character models, especially the main characters, are all spot on with a few disillusionments in some places, but nothing too bad. Oh, and driving at night, especially in the free ride mode, is a near magical experience. It's the way they combined the lighting with the city's landscape is just something I was absolutely in awe of. Then I got to playing a little and got a few not so satisfying peeks behind the veil. Like the texture pop-in, especially when you're out of town, is just horrible and sadly ever present, and there are also some rather unnerving bugs here and there. Like very early in the game I had to run somewhere and this lady's skirt just thought, I don't know, I'm gonna turn into an open parachute and leave the poor woman's legs exposed. If she had any. And things like that are enough to make a guy go. But all in all, the game's graphics are mostly beautiful with the mistakes, bugs, and shortcomings sprinkled in here and there to make sure you don't get sucked into the game and the life too much. To keep you grounded. Get what I'm saying? And that's enough about graphics. Moving on to sound. In Mafia Definitive Edition, the sound was completely revamped. The dialogues were re-recorded, new lines were added, some changes made, and there's a whole new stellar cast to charm you with their amazing performances. As for the environmental sounds, the devs really managed to create a soundscape that is immersive, and it makes you feel like you're actually in a big city in the 30s. The hustle and bustle, the cars, the birds, the people, I was really pleased by all of it. And the voice acting in this game? Oh my god, it really just blew my socks off. Seriously, I loved the performances of each and every voice actor. Watching the cinematics and hearing them interact with each other was refreshing and nostalgic at the same time. Right off the bat, I knew who each and every character was, and I greeted them as old friends, because really, that's what they are to me. Yeah, there wasn't a single one of them that I didn't remember, not one that had me going,
who is this guy? What the f*** is he doing here?
The gun sounds are also quite satisfying. The different guns have varied enough sounds, so do the bigger weapons like shotguns and bolt-action rifles. Oh, and let's not forget...
Les pièces de résistance.
Old Reliable itself.
Tommy gun.
No, not that Tommy gun. That guy's a two-faced mook. This Tommy gun. Right, so all in all, the game sounds are pretty much excellent. And I just want to take this moment and congratulate the absolutely awesome voice actors and sound department of Mafia for making the game not just come to life, but absolutely beam with it and getting me invested from start right up until the finish. Let's move on now to story. Now, the story of Mafia is that of the original game, and this being a remake, that's pretty much obvious. There are a few new scenes and lines added, some scenes were changed, updated, so to speak, but it's all kind of the same. Now, if you haven't heard of the Mafia franchise for the past 18 years, then let me ask you this.
What, do you live under a rock?
Don't fret though, I will tell you a little bit about the story. You play as Tommy Angelo, a cab driver in Lost Heaven, which is the fictional city where the game takes place, and thanks to the events of one fateful night, you get into the crime family of Don Salieri, who is one of the city's two rival Dons. Now throughout the game, you take Tommy and guide him through his illustrious career as a mob enforcer, hitman, getaway driver, and all-around everyman for the Mafia, really. No, really, I mean, at some points in the game, I didn't even know why Sam and Paulie, who are Tommy's best friends and mob guys themselves, were even in the picture. Tommy is the best driver. Tommy is the best shot. Tommy has got the potential to lead the family down the line, and with the skills he's got compared to the others, he should be rocking around the bar like...
I am the golden god of this place! I reign supreme! I...
But no, Tommy's a humble guy, so he settles for the barkeep's daughter instead. Anyway, that's enough about the story. Let's move on to gameplay, which in my opinion is a little lacking, but ultimately not so much so that it ruined my experience. Gameplay is where Mafia fell a little short for me. As I said in the beginning, Mafia Definitive Edition is almost a complete remake. However, there are some elements taken over from the original game and its sequels, which are also a bit old now. Those elements make the gameplay feel, well, dated. Gunplay is just simple, straightforward, run-of-the-mill cover shooting, nothing more. You go pop behind cover, you pop out, or just go around the environments and pop the enemies, hoping they don't get all buggy, lose their shit, and do a on your ass first. Now, I got used to the gun combat pretty fast, and it wasn't annoying enough to frustrate me too much. I actually managed to have fun throughout the shootout portions of the game, but it wasn't because they were so dramatic or cinematic or I don't know whatever. No, actually, it was the AI. I mean, sure, it tries to be smart. The enemies try to flank you, to outmaneuver you, circle behind you, etc. But a lot of times that it just didn't work, man. More often than not, they would either just run around randomly or just try to get behind cover, quickly change their mind mid-stride, and then try to run back. And I say that's a good thing, because if they hadn't, I'd have had a much duller time during these sequences. The most annoying thing, though, is melee fighting. It's mostly hit the enemy, dodge their attack once, and hit them again, then do one of a few finishing moves. That's it. No, seriously, that's it. Nothing more. Nada. Zip. Zilch. It just feels super outdated. Nothing like what I've seen from recent titles. I mean, you can pick up a knife or a baseball bat or a pipe, but that doesn't make it more fun. It just makes it so you don't have to suffer through, I don't know, maybe 2 dodges and 3 combos on your part, just 1 single dodge and a single combo, which helps you get done with the melee faster, so I don't know, I guess it kinda helps, but it's all just meh. Oh, and the throwing animations. Oh boy. I mean, he just throws the Molotovs and grenades with such precision, such professionalism, with just a simple flick of the wrist, regardless of where he wants them to go. It's really magical. I mean, with skills like that, he wouldn't have had to shoot mooks and drive getaway cars for a living. And also the controls are somewhat lacking too. I mean, Tommy mostly does what he's directed to by the controller, but there are times, especially when he's sprinting, that he just gets a little confused and he runs dick first into a wall or a table, and that really cannot be good for his health. Okay, now I've shit on the gameplay enough. Here's what I really enjoyed about it. And it was the driving. Yeah, I've heard people say that the cars are really slow, they handle shitty and this and that, and
Forget about it.
that is what cars were like and how they handled back in the day. And honestly, I didn't really care. It didn't bother me at all. I don't know, that's just my opinion. And so what about the speed? I don't think you have anything to complain about going slow when the other cars around you are going much slower usually. But you know what? F the speed. F the handling. Even the cars, they're all meaningless. The cars were just tools that I used to get around, and honestly, I can't even remember most of them. Not their names, not their looks, none of that. The experience was what made it all great for me. Driving around the city, enjoying the view, listening to your friends bickering in the back when you're driving them around. Seriously, the parts of the missions that I enjoyed the most, as far as, gameplay is concerned, was the driving. I mean, shit, I even enjoyed the race car mission this time around. I mean, I remember back in the day with the original racing mission, it was so frustrating. For 2 days I tried, and when I finally got it, I had no sense of success, because by that time I was so fucking fed up with the game that I just didn't even care. I left it like that for another couple of days before I calmed down and got back into it again. But lo and behold, here, I won the race on the first frickin' try. Admittedly, I didn't change any of the game settings, so the driving difficulty wasn't on simulation, making it somewhat easier, but I don't care, man, listen. I mostly only have time to game on the weekend, so I want to enjoy the game that I'm playing, not give myself a heart attack stressing out over some dumb section that I can't complete. Anyway, I previously mentioned nighttime driving, and I'm going to do it again because the entire experience is just so much better when you're driving at night. I mean, the city lights, the puddles reflecting them back, your car's hood and all entire surface reflecting them back, the buildings, the streets, the bridges, everything just looks so gorgeous. For me, it really, truly was the best part of Mafia Definitive Edition, apart from the story, which, as I said, is quite good. Let's continue with Playtime. Mafia Definitive Edition is not an especially long game, and that's understandable, it being a remake of a game from an era when video games were kept short and sweet, or in some cases just short. Now, as I said before, I'm a weekend gamer, so I measure playtime in weekends, and for me, Mafia took 2 weekends to finish, but not hardcore, stick to the screen, nothing else matters kind of weekends. No, they were 2 casual-like, few hours a day gaming weekends. But I can honestly say that I enjoyed almost each and every hour that I spent with it. It is somewhat short when measured by today's standards, but it does pack a punch and deliver a lot within that time. Hangar 13 and 2K have not created a masterpiece here. What they have created, however, is in my opinion an enjoyable and most of all honorable remake of one of the most beloved games of my childhood. Mafia Definitive Edition was brought into the current generation, a gorgeous looking game with a truly great and somewhat revamped story, awesome characters, and, looking past its shortcomings, a mostly completely enjoyable experience. I think that it is absolutely a great way to spend your time and enjoy this modern take on a true gaming classic while waiting for the upcoming AAA titles and, of course, the next generation of consoles. And with the smaller price tag, I think this game gives players quite a bang for their buck. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give it a solid 3.5. Mafia is a title that I will probably be returning to, maybe go for a nice relaxing nighttime drive or even replay the story, relive some of the nostalgia once again, you know? Alright, wise guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to pop the like button if you've enjoyed this review, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me, and give that bell button a nice ring-a-ling-ling if you want to be notified when I post them. I'm Zoltan the Gamer Man, and these have been my honest thoughts on Mafia Definitive Edition. Take care, be well, and don't forget, keep on gaming.